Hello everyone. Hi there. Sorry for me being late. Excuse me. But yeah, same thing as last stream basically. I just got home from my parents. And I also had to take a little bit care of my cat. Yes, I have a cat now. Since Saturday actually. And it's interesting, it's strange to get used to that. I mean, I've lived with cats since 2007 I mean, but I didn't have cats on my own until now, so yeah, it's a bit different, I guess. Right, Hugo? Maybe able to show him if he wants to appear in the stream. Anyway, hi to Tiffany and let me see. Carl Creighton, Sarah Kroll, hi, or Sarah Kroll, Mr. Lincoln Jason, hi, Carl Creighton, hi, and Carl Herring, hi. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thanks for being here. Mirotaya, hi, thanks. Thanks for tuning in at the start of a new week. I know that many people won't have time to tune in to the stream today, which is alright, but you know. Today is the day. Remember the 3rd of April, Vember. You know, 8 years off, definitely. Well, that's not really true though, because it's basically like October, November, December, January, February, March. 7-ish, almost 7 months with definitely. And the rest of that was Vlog Dave, but you get the gist. What's happening, everyone? Yeah. This is a little Q&A AMA stream. Kevin, hi. How are you doing? So sometimes I'm gonna, you know, take a look at my cat and what he's doing here and there. But right now he's relaxing and yeah. Thank you very much for saying that, Tiffany. That is much appreciated. So, yeah, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do a little stream today. A little opaque, I think it is. You know, that's the term. Which was a neat little effect in terms of the green screen setup. And, yeah, I was setting things up before the stream, and I stumbled across this setting. But I kind of like it. Brad Young, hi. Thanks for tuning in, Brad. Is this the first stream you're tuning in today? In general, you know, in terms of my channel, by any chance? Anyway, thanks for being here, Brad. I really appreciate that. Oh, a Dave stream, he says. Doing well? I'm doing well. Thank you very much for asking. Hope you do too. And yeah, I'm a happy cat owner now. Which is something that I still have to get used to in a way, but I loved your breakdown of Till Lindeman's short film. Which one do you mean? The Ich hasse Kinder video? Or do you mean the biography that I made? Like the little documentary? Have you seen my Weidmannsheim mashup music video yet? Oh, sounds interesting. Jay Cree, of course. Hi. Thanks for tuning in. I hope I didn't miss you yet, but if I have, I'm sorry. Thanks for tuning in, of course, Jay Cree. And that's nice emote. Cheers to you guys. So, how are you guys doing? Oh, and also a quick question. You're at Linkin Park's new release song, Fighting Myself. Also, congrats on the 8 years on YouTube. Here's to another. Thank you very much. Cheers to you. No, I haven't listened to it yet, no. I know of it, and I have pre-ordered the Meteora Deluxe Edition box set thingy, which I don't know when it... Has it been released yet? Or is it about to be? I don't know. But I guess I'm gonna listen to the new stuff once that is here, you know, once it has arrived. So yeah, But I'm looking forward to listening to the new song. Yeah, a new old song, I guess. Brett Young, last time I saw live from you was with you and Dom, and you were still Vlog Dave. Wow, well that was quite a while ago, I think then. Yeah. Yeah, I've switched the channel name from Vlog Dave to Definitely in mid-September. By the way, every one of you, you know, I know that some people would like to see more collaborations again with Vuko, get Germanized, and I guess at some point we will make more. It's just that I don't really, or we couldn't really find the time to do that because, you know, we don't really live close to one another. That's the problem. And now he also, or they, you know, he and his girlfriend, they have a dog, a little puppy, which they have to raise, you know, which also is quite exhausting. But I just, you know, we're still good friends, you know, nothing has changed there. Just so you know, no bad blood or anything being the reason for us not having, you know, had so many collaborations in recent months. That's simply due to time. And when we meet, actually, you know, when I, for instance, visit him, when I go to Vuko's, we often don't really film stuff for YouTube. We just do stuff as friends. But sometimes we do, you know. So I guess we'll get back to that at some point. But, you know, I don't know when. We'll see. We just played another Dungeons and Dragons session the day before yesterday, though. So that is something that we do every few weeks, for instance. So, yeah. But online. Meteora 20th. It released on the 7th of April, see? But thanks for reminding me, though, Mr. Lincoln Jason. So I'm really looking forward to that. And, yeah. I mean, Meteora was the first album, the first record that I ever bought for myself back in the day. 2003, 20 years ago. So, CD360. Thanks for tuning in. Hi. I discovered your channel literally days before the name change and was confused as hell when it happened. Lol. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I guess there are many people, or maybe some, that were also a little bit, yeah, I don't know, confused, I guess is the right word. But I had to do it. I actually wrote, I don't know if you guys saw that, I actually wrote another community post earlier today with some personal thoughts on the channel, you know, how it has evolved and everything, what I think about it, the current state of the channel and everything. So if you want to find out more about that, you can either go to my community tab page on my YouTube channel here, or you can find that post on my Instagram or on my Facebook for Definitely, respectively. So, yeah. Because I also sort of mentioned a little bit of that, you know, the name change and how it has affected the channel. Maybe I'm going to talk about that a little bit in this stream as well. I don't know. We'll see. Brad asks, did you see the Dungeons and Dragons movie yet? No, I haven't. But I would like to see it, though. Yeah. But I haven't seen John Wick 4 either. So I also want to see that. So we'll see. I'll see. Who knows? But who knows when? I don't know. Yeah. The last movie that I saw at the movies, at the cinema, was... What was it called? It's the one with Adam Driver, you know, basically like Jurassic Park in space, like sci-fi Jurassic Park, which was pretty cool. 73, something like that? 67? I don't know. 63 maybe? Something like that. Pretty new. I hadn't heard about that until one of my friends actually came up, you know, in our Discord, or on our Discord server that we have as friends here from the region where we live. And he basically asked, "Okay, you guys, do you want to see that? At the movies? Do we want to go?" And I had never heard of it, and neither had my friends. I don't think so. We just went for it, and it was pretty cool. It's not a masterpiece by any means, but was pretty entertaining. That is what I can say. It's with Adam Driver. And that was my first time at the movies since like many months, though, which is strange to say because I really like going to the movies, actually. But for some reason, with the pandemic and everything, I just didn't have the time to do it that often, frankly. Which is a shame, though. Yeah, so maybe I can change that in the future again. We'll see. We'll see about that. What was the last time that you went to the movies, and which movie did you watch? I wonder. In Germany, by the way, I don't know what it's like in your country. In Germany, there like basically every Thursday, der Donnerstag, there's a new movie premiere. New movies start being shown at the cinema, at the movies. So Thursday is the day, and sometimes on Wednesdays you have the the premiere evening of new movies. But yeah. And talking about releases and Linkin Park and everything, music releases. I think in America it's Tuesdays, right? On Tuesdays. In Germany it's Fridays. On Germany, the typical record release date as in terms of music albums is Friday in Germany. I haven't watched a movie in ages. The last one I remember watching was Pirates of the Caribbean, Salazar's Revenge in mid-September. Since then I've lost interest in movies. Wow. That's kind of sad though, because there are still many great movies. I'm really looking forward to Oppenheimer, the upcoming one by Christopher Nolan, with Cillian Murphy. Yeah. Vera Wisshaupt. Hi, thanks for tuning in, Vera. Thanks for all your great vlogs. I love the Rammstein explanations and everything about the German language. Thank you, and please continue. Thank you very much for saying that. That is very kind and much appreciated, really. Thank you, Vera. And I will. Don't you worry. I won't stop. Even though that sort of leads me to a certain topic that I may talk about in a moment here. But first, though, Blue Bilbo. Congrats on your anniversary. Thank you very much for saying that, Blue Bilbo. And thanks for being here, for watching my videos. Every single one of you. Really. It means something. And, CA is California, I think. Sarah? Hi from CA, Dave. Happy channel anniversary. Haven't been to the movie... No, it's Canada. I'm sorry. It's probably Canada. Yeah. The German. Happy channel anniversary. I haven't been to the movie theater since I was quite a bit younger. Yeah. Somehow I preserved that interest in going to the movies, because I know many people my age, like early 30s, late 20s maybe, that don't really go to the movies anymore. But I like it, But it has to be a movie that is suited for the big screen in a way. I think. Certain movies, I saw at the... Certain movies that I saw at the movies, at the cinema, you can watch them on a big screen, but you don't have to. I don't know if you know what I mean. But certain movies are made for the big screen, the epic grandeur feeling being at the movies. For instance, Christopher Nolan movies, I guess, something like The Dark Knight or Inception. Watching that on a big screen with like a great sound system around you, with many people all together in a room, that was quite an experience. Yeah. And I would have loved to watch, for instance, The Matrix when it came out in '99 at the movies, but I was too young then, so I couldn't. Or the Lord of the... I think I watched the Lord of the Rings, though, at the movies. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think I did. I know that I basically watched all Harry Potter movies at the movies. Yeah. Including the new ones, like the Fantastic Beast ones. Let's see. The last movie I saw in a theater was The Whale. I have heard many great things about it, and I'm really, really happy for. Is it Brendan Fraser, right? Brendan Fraser, for his comeback basically, and he even earned an Oscar. You know, I enjoyed watching him on screen, you know, in The Mummy, and then he went away. In a way, it seemed to me. I don't know, but somehow I really like him. You know, I can't help but. I don't know too much about him though, but you know. I haven't been to the theater in over a decade. Oppenheimer will get me to go if any movie does. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a very elaborate, big movie for the movies again. So I definitely want to see that. Im Kino, das Kino, by the way. And no worries, Brad. And Sarah, of course. Ah. Yeah, I was thinking like, is CA, is it California or is it Canada? Confused Dave is confused. But sometimes I'm just confused. That's just me, you know. CD360, did you see my reply on your community post announcing the German-only stream after you replied to my original comment? I wrote a reply to you after a few days after the stream. I don't know, actually. That's the problem with community posts. I see when someone, like, I usually get a little notification in my studio app that I have, which is basically, you know, where is it? Like this, and it shows me some comments and everything, and usually it shows me that there is a new comment under your community post, which is awesome, of course, right? But when I reply to that and then someone else replies, I don't get another notification, which is strange in a way, but that's the way it is, at least for me. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm gonna check real quick. Don't you worry. Won't take long. Whoops. No. Where is it? Community. Let's see. Oh, there I am. Okay. CD360 replied to the German stream that I did, my first stream only in German last month. I thought I'd give the stream a try. I watched for about 5 or 10 minutes and almost had a breakdown trying to process all the German. The only German allowed rule took me right back to my high school days in 2014, 2015, when our teacher would make us write these super long German essays. She was not a nice person at all with the way she'd sometimes shout at us. Wow. I'm sorry about that. I eventually had to stop taking the lessons because of the way they were being done and was affecting my mental health and my sleep. Wow. It took me 8 years to start learning German again. Wow, I'm really sorry to hear that, CD360. And thanks for sharing that, though. Because, you know, of course, everyone experiences those situations differently. But I see, you know, why, for instance, you may not have had the motivation to learn more German because of that experience. So I can totally get that. But it makes me all the more happier and more grateful that you actually decided against that, you know, against not doing that, in favor of still wanting to learn German. And that lady there, didn't manage to really ruin that for you. So I'm really glad that you overcame that in a way. If that is the right wording for that, but you know what I mean. So that is much appreciated. Thanks for sharing. I really, really do appreciate something like that. And I hope that the stream actually gave you a few good feelings in hindsight, maybe. Or my channel does, I hope so. And to you guys as well, of course. Yes, California. I've been watching the Netflix series Lucifer. I haven't watched it yet. But yeah, I finished it ages ago. I'm now rewatching it to give myself something to watch while grinding during my long gaming sessions. That is also very nice, yeah. By the way, talking about gaming real quick, on a personal note, I reactivated my German Let's Play channel, my German gaming channel. So if you're interested in Let's Plays, I'm currently Let's Playing the game Pathologic, the original 2005 version in German, by the way. So it may be a little listening practice for you if you want to check that out. Or maybe that link doesn't work, I don't know. Let's... Dave Durden TV. That link should work, I think. Anyway, yeah, I'm currently watching... I'm not watching a series at the moment, though. I'm currently watching a Let's Play, talking about that, speaking of which, of The Forest, the first one, though, by the German Let's Player Gronk and his friend Tobinator, who's also another German Let's Player, and it's hilarious. It is freaking hilarious. I love it. I was fortunate enough to see Wayne's World and the original Mortal Kombat in the theater when I was young. Wow. The only two movies I remember watching in the movie theater were Monsters, Inc. and Chicken Little. What is Chicken Little, though? Monsters I know of, but Chicken Little? I don't know. Do I know that movie? Maybe it has a different title in German, though. Fraser. I think it's Fraser, right? Or Fraser? Supposedly got blacklisted because he refused to do favors for some certain people. Wow. It's a crazy industry to some degree, I guess. Yeah. CA Canada. The compound words make learning German fairly intimidating. Yes, but also I would argue, yes, I know, and I would agree, but it's a two like a double-edged sword, I guess you say in English. It can make you feel intimidated, but on the other end, or the other side of the sword, the sheer freedom that you have in terms of making up new words by just, combining different nouns, or like a noun with a verb, or vice versa, that freedom, that linguistic freedom, once again, though, also makes or enables you to express something that you don't know the term of, but you may be able to rephrase it as a compound word, for instance, but or something like that. So thanks for saying that, and for telling me, Mr. Lincoln Jason. Appreciate it. Have you tried Resident Evil 4 Remake yet? There's a free demo too. No, I haven't. The thing with me and like horror games is that I really love to watch them as Let's Plays, but is it like this scaredy cat? Is that the English term for der Schisshase? Der Schisshase, which is a very interesting little colloquial German word, der Schisshase, because literally it means the fear rabbit, der Schisshase, someone who's afraid of or frightened of horror games and something like that, and the horror experience, which I think is the equivalent to the scaredy cat, maybe in English. Maybe I'm confusing things. So in a way, I love to watch Let's Plays, but I don't really have to, or I don't really feel like I need to play the games myself necessarily. That being said, though, never say never. Maybe at some point I'm gonna play or let's play a Resident Evil game, you know? Ah. Hugo, are you a scaredy cat? No, I don't think so, right? Nah, he's chillin'. He's really relaxed. I'm really happy that he is, though, because, yeah, I've known Hugo since like 2017 when he got into our family with his sister Pepper. She sadly passed away like 3 years ago, I think. And for some reason, like the other cats at my parents' place basically mobbed him. Like they basically aggroed him, you know, and they fought basically on a daily basis. And it got worse and worse. And then we decided, you know, would it be okay for you to take Hugo to you? Like, would it be okay for you to have him live with you from now on? And I was like, okay, of course, you know, because I love them. I love animals, especially cats, of course, because I'm used to them. And now he lives with me. Yeah. Little Hugo. Very, very lovely cat. So I'm happy that he can relax now and doesn't have to be afraid of, you know, or he basically was always scanning the area. Where are the other cats? Can I go there safely? Can I go to, you know, to feed something, you know, to eat food, or to go to the cat toilet, something like that. Simple things, but he was kind of afraid to do that, you know. And yeah, so I'm really glad. I mean, he still has to get used to this new environment, of course, and everything, but I think that's gonna work out fine. I hope, at least in the long run. Yeah. Hugo, möchtest du gleich mal in den Stream reinkommen? Oh, maybe. Maybe he wants to say hello at some point in the stream. We'll see. Let's see. Himmel und Huhn. Himmel und Huhn? Heaven and Chicken? Ah, that's the German name of the movie. I see. Thanks for telling me. Himmel und Huhn. I haven't watched it, though. I don't think. No. I don't think so. What breed is he? Well, he's not a specific breed, actually. He's just like a normal cat. Is it... What's it called? British Kurzhaar, I think, is the German... Is that a breed, though? Like, he isn't of a specific breed, though. I mean, he's an ordinary cat. Not meaning, you know, in a prerogative way whatsoever. Double-edged sword is the right term. It's also one of my favorite sayings. Yeah, I like very... how should I put it? Visually rich or visually implying metaphors. Like when someone uses certain objects, for instance, or mentions them in order to explain something, like the double-edged sword with the two sides to something like that, I really enjoy. So in all languages, like in both English and German. Yeah. I love that about the German language. Yeah, me too. Sounds right. You underestimate your English. Yeah, well, sometimes I'm questioning things here and there, because sometimes there's something that comes to mind in certain situations. For instance, you know, the double-edged sword. But then something sometimes makes me question: is it the correct term for this context, though, or am I confusing things? You know, am I mixing things up? Glad she could take the cat in. Yeah, I'm too, Sarah. I'm too. And I even thought about if he wants to, of course, and if I have certain ideas for it, maybe sometimes I may actually include him in a few videos. But we'll see. We'll see. Not gonna force him, of course. But if he wants to be in a few videos, I guess we could make that happen. Bérangère, hi! Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being back. I'm more of a dog person, but cats are good too. The entire internet can't be wrong about that. That is true. The thing is, though, we've never had any dogs yet, so I like dogs as well. I like both cats and dogs, but I'm leaning more toward cats, like way more, because ever since 2007, we had cats all the time, so I'm just used to it, The short hair. British Kurzhaar. That is Kurzhaar. Normal cat. If it, normal. As if in the others aren't normal, of course they are, but yeah, you know what I mean. I'm thinking of getting a cat when I'm finished my education and I have my own house and I've settled down with a partner. I also want an axolotl as a pet. They are interesting as well. I haven't seen one in real life though. I only saw a couple of little movie clips with them, but that's about it. But I don't know anyone, in fact, that has one. So I couldn't actually. But they're really interesting beings. Yeah, creatures. Cats are definitely more of an independent kind of pet. That is true. Yes, that is true. But they can also be loyal. I think there's a certain misconception that some people have. They think dogs are really extremely loyal to you, which is true, I guess. And cats are more like loners in a way, or more independent of you. Yes and no, or as we would say in German, combined, jein, which basically is a mixture of yes and no in one word. Yes, they are more independent, I guess, but they also can be quite loyal. They can also have you can also have a close bond to a cat. Speaking of my personal experience, that is. Of course, it also depends on the cat, because not every cat is, similar to one another. So they all have a mind of their own. Mirotaya asks, have you ever tried Friday Night Funkin' Rhythm Game? The game became popular in November 2020. The game can be played on Newgrounds or can be downloaded for free. No, I haven't. No, actually don't know about the game. Yeah, that is Hugo, by the way, what Carl just posted there. That is, and now it actually fits even better, that emoji, because now he actually is a part of the Dave estate property, part of the Dave family. I know you love music, but do you play any instruments? That's a good question, Brad. Not really. I used to play a little bit of guitar. Back in the day, one of my school friends actually taught me some chords and everything. And it was fun for a while, but I just didn't get to the point where I was practicing daily or practicing oftentimes or often enough to make any mentionable progress, and somehow I just stopped. But I still have a guitar. I actually have two guitars, an electric guitar and an acoustic guitar. And I also have a ukulele. Yeah. which I can't play either, though. I got that actually from Get Germanized, I think. Yeah, from Vuko for Christmas, like 2 years ago or something like that. Yeah, as a little gift, which is pretty cool. So I'm really interested in instruments and everything and music. I love music. And to some degree, I still want to learn or get back to learning how to play the guitar, or even drums for that matter, which I also am really, really curious about. You know, drummers like Gavin Harrison, Danny Carey, Marco Miniman. There are many, many more to mention, you know. Neil Peart, of course, great drummers out there. So maybe at some point, never say never. I used to sing in a band for a little more than like a year or like a year and a half, I think it was. But we didn't really get to the stage of performing on stage, you know. We didn't make it that far. It was basically a little project that I had going on with a few college friends of mine, or university friends. And yeah, I was the singer, and we basically played cover versions of Queens of the Stone Age and some stoner things, and it was a wild mixture. And we also had like I think 3 or 4 compositions that we actually made, you know, our own songs, and we also recorded some demos. But then we broke up because we simply didn't have enough time anymore to pursue that regularly. But it was a nice time though. Nice memories. And every other day I still sing to songs that I'm listening to in my apartment, you know, in my flat. Because I don't know, it has always been a thing that I love to do, singing along to songs. It's just something it's quite deliberating in a way. Deliberating? It's something that makes me feel good, I guess. You know, I don't think you really have or don't need to explain in detail, but it just makes me feel good. That is what it is. So yeah, I wouldn't mind playing in a band at some point again. We'll see. But the thing is, even though, you know, in my previous band we were 4 and at some point I think even 5 guys, and liberating, not deliberating. Yeah, thank you very much, Derek. And hi, by the way, thanks for tuning in, Derek. Thanks for being here. And I can relate to that, what you just wrote. Yeah, Bérangère. Yeah. We were, I think, 4 and at some point even 5 people in the band. And even though we were still like very early beginnings and everything, and just, you know, doing it as a hobby and every now and then, and not really performing on stage at all in front of people, there are still already certain, I guess what you would call artistic differences that I guess other musicians or bands can relate to at some point, because it's just natural, because everyone has their own influences and their own favorite artists and bands and the like. And you know, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in a band, and every one of them may have a little different taste compared to the others, you know, and influences. But as a band, you have to find that the Venn diagram, I think it's called in English, like the common core in the middle where you meet, where you share the same plan, or you share the same interest, musical interest, what you want to do and pursue as a band, and that can be pretty tricky. For instance, our guitarist was more into like stoner rock, and which I also like. I like many different styles of music, but I'm more, I guess I'm more influenced by progressive music, like progressive rock, progressive metal, Porcupine Tree, Opeth, those bands, even Jethro Tull, for instance, Ian Anderson, or as of late, in recent like 2, 3, 4-ish years, Joni Mitchell, that I discovered for me shortly before she erased her entire catalog from Spotify. So I was lucky enough to have had the chance to listen to her catalog before she took it down for, I guess in her mind, like for good reasons, I guess. I don't want to judge. Not saying that I disagree though. Anyway, her. Or, who else? The Police, Sting, great singer, great songwriter even. And I also like watching Rick Beato, for instance, his channel Rick Beato, who is an American music producer from Atlanta, like based in Atlanta, Georgia. And he often has this What Makes This Song Great music series going on his channel, where he can really explain the chord choices and the voicings of certain chords being played in that song and this song, and why that artist or why that song sounds so good because of the chord choicing and those things. And gotta be honest, I love music, but I'm nowhere near an expert when it comes to those things. I can't read notes or the like, so no. But I love listening to him explaining all that stuff. And he also has some great interviews. For instance, as of late, he interviewed Butch Vig, the famous producer of Nirvana, Nevermind, the Smashing Pumpkins, the early records. Great guy, also very likable, I think. Someone that I've always admired. So, yeah. Anyway, I could talk about music all day, as you may have figured. Ever since I accepted my singing voice and how it sounds, I've been singing like a madman. I sing for my music exam I had to a couple of weeks ago, and I'm singing for a friend's grand's funeral when she unfortunately passes. Wow. But that's a great honor, though. So, much respect and kudos. I guess you will do a great job there. Yeah. Wow. Joni, yes. Love her music. Very unique in a way. I even made a whole podcast, like the German podcast episode about Joni Mitchell, because I was so impressed by her artistry, musicality, that is, that like a song like Amelia, for instance, almost always makes me cry when I listen to it. And also with the lyrics and everything, and knowing the fate of Amelia Earhart, I think her name is, the pilot that was like lost, that vanished, and no one really knows for sure what happened to her. Also one of the first women in recent like decades in history to really have achieved something like that, like something of such a great significance, and that was also like culturally accepted like that, not wanting to that to sound strange, don't get me wrong. I mean that in a positive way, of course, positive light. And she was basically, I guess, considered by some to be someone who broke the line, like who broke into, or I should rephrase it, as someone who really opened the door for many other women to be accepted as successful women in that age, in that era where she lived, like the 1920s, 1930s, I think it was when she got lost. And Amelia by Joni Mitchell is basically like a mixture of her story and Amelia Earhart. So it's an interesting mix in a way. Very touching song. Wow, thank you very much, Sarah. Wow, that's very generous. Much appreciated. I sing at church on Sundays. Joni Mitchell is an awesome singer. Yes, she is. My favorite musician is Elvis Presley. I really have to get to his discography as of yet. So I really haven't listened to him yet. Once again, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Yeah, but Joni Mitchell, actually, Rick Beato made a video about her song Amelia, and I watched his video not knowing, only having heard of her name up until that point, but I hadn't listened to any of her songs. I didn't even know Big Yellow Taxi was a song by her. I only knew of this version from the early 2000s, which, is it by Counting Crows? And Sheryl Crow? Something like that? I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing things here. But I always liked that song, like that version. Broke the glass ceiling. That's a great saying, though. Yeah. Thanks for telling me. And for helping me out. Much appreciated as well. Professor of Rock is a great music channel for the stories behind bands and songs. You should check it out. I'm definitely gonna do that. Professor, gonna write that down. Professor of Rock. Nice. Thanks for the suggestion. And then, after I actually really fell in love with Amelia and Big Yellow Taxi, of course, and Both Sides Now, and Help Me, I really decided to listen to all her albums from front to back, as I really sometimes do with artists that I discover. I did that with The Police, I did that with Joni Mitchell, I did that with R.E.M., people that I've known sometimes, for ages, and their most popular songs that everyone knows, Losing My Religion being a good example, but I didn't really know their albums yet. And I just, sometimes I just, when I go out for a walk, I listen to music and I listen to their albums consecutively. And I see how certain people change and artists change over the years. And, taking twists and turns and taking chances as well. Which Joni Mitchell also did, starting being a little, like, unknown and quite folky, acoustic singer-songwriter based musician up until the mid-70s, when she incorporated more jazz elements into her music. Then switching over to rock, like pop rock in the 80s. And then coming back to her earlier, more acoustic style in the 90s. Really, really admirable person. Really, really, really. And I'm really glad. In fact, just yesterday, I saw a little video of her performing a song, Summertime, I think, by someone else. And she actually appeared at the Fairport Jazz Festival, I think it's called, last year as a surprise guest for the first time in 9 years, because she also had some health problems before. And I'm really, really glad that she's doing better and that she is enjoying singing again. And maybe at some point she will even record a new album, who knows. She was encouraged to do so, by the way, by Elton John, who interviewed her a couple of months ago for Apple Music, I think. Like 20 minutes-ish. Yeah. Anyway, gonna provide you with a link real quick to the German podcast episode, my German podcast episode about Joni Mitchell, if you want to learn some German along the way as a listening practice and get my first impression on her albums and songs. That's the one on Spotify. All right, let's see. And I love exploring and finding new musicians and new bands every now and then, or every other day. And I'm especially when I'm blown away by them, like when it's something that really struck a chord in me, that really resonated with me or resonates with me on a certain level. And music often does that. Like I would say, I don't know if maybe it's not the typical feeling people have or many people have when listening to music, but I personally, I really, really, most of the time at least, and depending on the music and my mood and the circumstances, of course, but most of the time when I listen to music, I really get in the zone. Like I'm really, it's meditative in a way. It's like a trance. I really feel music deeply. When it has a certain melody that touches me, for instance, I very, very often I get goosebumps when listening to music. And I just love it. I couldn't live without it, frankly. So yeah. And I'm really looking forward to Hugo. Hi. Ups. Guck mal. Tja. Du bist im Stream. Guck mal da. Upsala. So. Ja, du? Alles klar? Ja. Hier. Up. That was Hugo. Little cameo. Yeah, what did I want to say? It's like a sort of like a religious, like a spiritual experience to me. Yeah, he's adorable. No, Hugo? Yeah. Anyway, I did want to say something else. I don't know. You should watch YouTube videos of Friday Night Funkin' if you don't know what game it is. I will check it out. The song we've selected, we being me and my friend's family, is One More Light by Linkin Park. Very, very touching song, yeah. Beautiful song. Due to the song being about losing a friend and or loved one. See, that is also one of the songs that when I listen to it now, knowing what happened to Chester Bennington, sometimes I have to cry when I listen to songs like that, I'm gonna be honest with you. That is also something that sometimes happens. Sometimes I really get emotional when listening to certain songs. Time by Hans Zimmer, by the way, from the Inception soundtrack is one of them. Or Clocks by Coldplay. Yeah. There are certain songs when you link them or when they make you think of certain situations in your life. And quite often I actually... Oh, thank you very much, Karl. Vielen Dank. Das freut mich sehr. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, something I would like to ask you. What do you think about this? I was wondering, and I guess I may do it. I have thought about it for a few days now. I was thinking of two things. Well, it's mostly one thing. Let me start with that. I was thinking about setting up a GoFundMe page, which would be basically about me, or supporting me, theoretically speaking, in this, paying off my student, well, there it is, paying off my student debt, which is still something that is going on right now, like, and I actually took a credit from the bank in order to do that, and I'm currently like paying off the credit at a monthly rate, that is. And I was thinking of, I have heard of GoFundMe multiple times, and in fact a few of my friends actually set up a GoFundMe for other things, and I don't know if it would be something that people would partake in, and I don't expect anything, in that way, don't get me wrong. I was just thinking, is that something that you could do on that page, or is it asking too much? I don't know. I don't want to seem like someone who is like, how should I put it? I don't know. Yeah, And I was thinking about that, doing that, and because then at some point I would be debt free of debt, and I could then also think about, for instance, traveling to other countries, to the US or Japan at some point, something that I would like to do, and like I've been thinking about for ages, but I don't want to. But at the same time, I mean, I guess you know how I mean it, and you can believe me when I say that I don't want to seem like greedy, if that makes sense, right? That's not my motivation, I don't want to make people feel obliged to something like that, to tipping or to, not at all, in the slightest. So don't get me wrong, please, with this. But yeah, I was just thinking about that, maybe as a possibility, but I haven't really made up my mind yet, so I don't know. But it was maybe this is a good way to ask you what you think about that on a general level. If that would be like an applicable thing to do through GoFundMe, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Shatter the glass ceiling. I really like that phrase. I hope I can remember that and memorize that in that sense. Shattered the glass ceiling. Broke the glass ceiling. Shattered the glass ceiling. U2. Yeah, I really. That is also one of the bands that I only know the like the hit singles of, but I don't know their albums. Like, I haven't listened to one U2 album from front to back in my life yet. Which is nothing about, against the band. I just didn't get around to do it yet. There's so much more music to discover, though. It's crazy. Someone here in the US hadn't heard of REM, and I couldn't believe it. I thought she misheard me. Yeah, I think they're especially big in the USA, right? In the US. But they're also quite well known in Germany and quite popular with their, hit songs. Imitation of Life, I remember fondly. I really like that song as well. That was still to this day on certain German radio stations is being played quite frequently, for instance, or Losing My Religion, you know, Shiny Happy People. Yeah. They have many great songs. Maria Melek, hi, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for saying that. That is much appreciated. Cheers to you, and every one of you guys. And Tiffany, that is very, very kind of you to say. Thank you very much for saying that, because maybe that is, this may sound strange to say, but maybe it is like a German thing to think about those things, you know, in terms of how do people like possibly perceive me, and I don't want anyone to perceive me in a wrong way. That is the thing with this. And yeah, that is just something that I want to make sure that people don't get that wrong, that people think, you know, I'm greedy and I expect my viewers to tip me or something like that. That's not the case at all. No, that has never been the case, and that will never be the case. That is just not how I function, you know, how I work or how I roll as a human being, you know, that's not my, I would never think that. So not that anyone has confronted me with something like that, don't get me wrong, but I just don't want people to get the wrong impression, you know. That's the thing, and that leads to me overthinking certain things, you know, in terms of it took me a long time, for my standards at least, I don't know, it took me quite a while to actually finally decide on setting up a Patreon for this channel, because I was really, really deliberating with myself back in the day. Let me tell you, like, I was like, can I do this? Is this okay? Do people think, you know, I'm selling out? Something like that, you know, I only want their money, because, you know, that's not the thing, what this is all about. Because, you know, on the other hand, though, if I were only or mainly about to, or let me rephrase this, if I were mainly in for this, for the money, this whole YouTube thing, I would make completely different types of videos. Like I would not even make German related content, frankly speaking, because as much as I love doing this, and I will keep doing this for the time being, of course, I'm not like planning to stop this, because it's much fun for me as well. And if I can help you guys, that is really, really cool, and that really is motivational, you know? And getting your feedback shows me that you also appreciate that. So sometimes it's more entertaining, sometimes it's more educating maybe, you know, and I don't know, maybe a little mixture, which I always try to achieve to some degree. But yeah, it's niche. Do you say it's niche content? I think in English, right? It's niche content. Like it's a form of content that is very specific to a certain target audience, you guys. But it's not something that is like popular on a broader sense, because not everyone is interested in the German language and culture, which is totally fine, of course. That's just the way it is. That is, and I know that. I'm well aware of that. Working in the field of online marketing in general, like, you know, working with stuff like that, and SEO, you know, search engine optimization. I know of those things, but it's hard for like a channel like mine. That is also something, by the way. Sorry, I'm jumping a little bit between sentences here. But talking about that, and this being like an anniversary celebration type of stream, maybe it's a good opportunity to talk about those things a little bit. yeah, it's how should I put it? It's take my album listening party video, or that series, for instance, which basically, in case you don't know, is me reacting to a music album, like a record, you know. The latest one being the new Subway to Sally album, Himmelfahrt, which is a great album. German folk metal, basically. Great band, by the way. You should definitely give them a try if you like Rammstein or In Extremo or similar bands. Subway to Sally. And it's the way I do it is basically a mixture of music reaction, like album reaction, and German lesson. It's a mixture of both, which first of all is something that I haven't seen anyone doing on YouTube yet, apart from me. Maybe I'm wrong, you know, but I feel like I'm basically the only person, or like one of the only people doing that mixture, that specific mixture of language learning and music reaction. And even though you could argue, well, that's great though, right? Because that is very unique. That makes your channel unique. Yes, it does. But on the other hand, and that's where it gets a little bit like frustrating sometimes, gotta be honest with you guys. And that is not like blaming people. Don't get me wrong about this, please, because that is not how I mean it. But it's very, sometimes it's frustrating with those types of things, because the more special, like niche content-ish, or unique, or new a video series is, the harder it is to promote it and to get the word out to people that may be very interested in checking out something like that. People that love music and that also love the German language and like to find out more about that. Because that is a concept that you could do with basically every single album out there. If it's like an English band or like an English album, I could simply translate the English titles to German and explain the German translation and teach you certain German words and grammatical things related to those things. And I have done that in the past and I still love it. But it's quite frustrating when, at least I feel like, you know, if other people that really also like music may be into that, it's really hard and to really get the word out about that stuff, you know, especially when you're not like a PewDiePie 100 million subscriber channel. Once again, please don't get me wrong, I'm extremely, and I said that multiple times throughout the months and years, and I keep saying it, but I mean it. I'm extremely grateful for like over 50k subscribers. You can't even imagine how grateful I am for that. You know, it's beyond anything that I expected, frankly, of this. It's, yeah. So it's always it's the struggle of being niche or niche and wanting to grow your audience. And that is basically the eternal struggle of my videos, I guess, like on this channel at least. And there sometimes I actually thought about, I said that I just told you that I'm working in the field of online marketing, so I know a few tools like SEO optimization, and I'm basically doing that for video descriptions every now and then, and changing video titles, optimizing them here and there, tweaking them here and there. That is something that I love to do every now and then, you know, every couple of weeks or months on my channel. Maybe some of you may have noticed that even, you know, because I actually had to do that when I changed the channel name from VlogDave to Definitely. I had to adjust like over 600, 700 video descriptions with substituted links, and everything. It was a lot of work, but I knew what I had to do, and it was totally fine. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoy investing time in this. But sometimes I just can't help but feel a bit, yeah, I don't know, helpless? Because the other thing is, I actually thought about maybe at some point getting in touch with like a YouTube agency, like a social media agency, which could help me out and give me like a fresh perspective on those things. Because as I've said before, even though I work in that field, like SEA especially, search engine advertising, which is basically like Google ads and everything like that, or like on Facebook, like Meta, Instagram. That is what I'm doing like for a living for the most part. But I really don't have the financial means to really, especially not at the moment when I'm paying off my student debt. I can't really invest that much money into that right now. Maybe at some point later in the, in upcoming months or years, I don't know. Hopefully, but I just can't do that right now. That's not possible. That's not feasible. And that is the other struggle, I even if I knew how to do certain like social media campaigns, maybe for my YouTube channel, or maybe if I knew certain like a cool YouTube agency that also would like to work with me, that would get to me, which I also have sometimes, when I check my mails for definitely. Every few weeks there is like a social media agency, we would like to work with you, and of course that's cool in a way. But I don't know what they would charge, or but I'm certain that I couldn't really afford that at the moment. So that is also the brick wall. That is like the next digital, like virtual brick wall that I'm standing in front of, and I don't know how to, yeah. But I don't know, that all sounds very, how should I put it? Like off-putting, but it isn't that way, I actually wrote that in my little community post like 1 or 2 hours ago, which you can also find on my Facebook for definitely, and my Instagram if you want to read it. Like that all of which I mentioned now sounds very like sad, or maybe something like that, or pessimistic, but I don't feel that way though. Like I really enjoy making videos, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. And I really also like the content that I make, the type of content, the topics of the German language, which I love explaining. I love helping people and entertaining them, like edutainment, which basically that's what this channel is about at the core of things, whether it's through music or video games. There are many outlets for that, but the core principle is that. And I love that mixture. And it's much fun, but yeah, sometimes I feel a little bit lost with that stuff. I guess, or I know of a few other fellow creators, not naming names here, that sort of feel the same, about what they do. And that is not necessarily the same field, like the same genre. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. Sorry for the monologue here, but yeah, that is. I want to be honest with you guys. Like that is. I'm really happy. I guess there are many fellow creators, and I can't blame them, that have experienced something like that throughout their YouTube career at some point. Even way bigger YouTubers than I am, you know, like surpassing 100K, 200K, 400K, 1 million subscribers even, that are, or that may get to a similar point in their YouTube career, where they feel like, you know, I'm stagnating in terms of subscribers, and I don't know what to do. You know, it's just, and in a way, I knew that this would happen to my channel at some point as well, and I knew that there was a high chance when I changed the channel name from VlogDave to Definitely in last September, that I would lose certain like rankings or like SEO optimized, like good rankings on YouTube for certain searches for, you know, Rammstein blah 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 explains, something like that, you know. I still rank for those things here and there, which is cool. But I certainly lost a few rankings because of the name change. But I was well aware of that, so that didn't come as a surprise. And I hope that the channel can, how should I put it, catch up on that, like get back to the state where it was before the name change at some point, maybe, hopefully, but I don't know. That was the risk that I took, and I took it willingly. And then again, I'm happy that I changed the channel name, because I feel way better with Definitely compared to VlogDave now. So it was a decision I made willingly, knowing the risks and what could happen to the, like, my channel status. Yeah, what can you do? That's the way it is. So we'll see. Carl Creighton just tipped €5. Thank you very much, Carl. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really like the dabbing Sir Daniel Fortescue of Medieval up there in the corner. So once again, sorry for the rant or like the little monologue, but I hope I didn't annoy anyone watching with this stuff. But I feel like if there is one stream or like one opportunity where I can actually share those thoughts and what's going on behind the scenes, you know, it would be like a live stream on this channel with you guys. And especially like an channel anniversary stream, where it's basically also like a little recap on what's happened so far, the journey so far, you know, and the current state of the things. Yeah. Whew. Okay, I'm sorry, I really have to catch up on you guys again. You are the least greedy person I know. I would never feel that way about you. Once again, Tiffany, thank you very much. You want to do the right thing, it's very honorable. The thing, though, is, and that is something that I sort of touched upon a few minutes ago, I guess, indirectly. I think, and sometimes I confuse things there, even though I should know better by now, making this like, or having been making videos for this channel since 8 years now. I know that the sentiment, or like the general thoughts about like the tipping culture when it comes to like creators, YouTubers, Twitch streamers, whatever it is on the interwebs, that whole looking for the right words here, the fundamental thought behind that, I think, is different, culturally different, in Germany compared to the USA. Because in Germany, people, at least I feel like that, there are many different people with many different opinions on that stuff, but, you know, I think in Germany, many people would hesitate to tip people, like creators, that way, or like do something like Patreon, like a continuous support in a way. Because I feel like, even though we tip people, you know, waitresses at restaurants, for instance, we tip people in Germany as well. Like, it's not a foreign thing to do, but in terms of, you know, digital media and YouTubers, in my case, for instance, I think Americans, for instance, feel a bit more open-minded when it comes to doing that kind of stuff. I don't know if you know what I mean, but maybe I'm wrong, but that is the impression I get sometimes. That, you know, Germans feel a little bit more, oh, can I really do that? Can I really set up like a Patreon? Or does that make me look greedy, like right from the get-go, even though I am not? Like, I feel like Germans are really, many at least, that I would know of, would feel very hesitant to do something like that in the first place. Whereas I guess, you know, being maybe like an American creator, it would be totally natural to just have different tipping options for people, you know, all voluntary, of course, as it is. But they wouldn't really hesitate in the first place to offer like something like that. Maybe that also plays into this. I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting topic, though. Your passion for music is inspiring. I love you use music to teach. I love how you use music to teach language on your channel. It makes it very relatable. Thank you very much, Derek. That is exactly what I want to achieve. You know, it's two things that I love, so let's combine them. I would donate to that if you decide to do a GoFundMe. Wow. Thank you, Tiffany. And the other thing is, you know, don't worry, gonna end the rant in a moment, or the deliberation sequence of the stream. The other thing is, and I touched upon that in a few streams over the years, I feel like it's a little bit like, it's a paradox, I guess you could call it. On the one hand, I'm offering something like Patreon or like PayPal or buy me a coffee, you know, something like that, or like super chat, super thanks, YouTube channel memberships. But at the same time, I feel like I don't deserve that support. Like, and I'm not saying that, you know, in terms of like fishing for compliments, but I just genuinely feel like, and I did that way more in the early days of the channel as I'm doing now, but yeah, it's, maybe that's also like a very typical German thing in that regard. I don't know, but and that also, I guess, was part of me hesitating to really set up a Patreon in the first place back in the day. Thoughts like that, you know. I don't know. You want to do the right thing, it's very honorable. Thank you very much. Given that so many people in the US haven't heard the expression losing my religion, I'm curious as to how that song was taken over there. Yes, I actually heard about that. I think it's a phrase, if I'm not mistaken, that is quite specific to Georgia, where they are from, I think. Like Atlanta, that region. Losing my religion. I think it's similar to the phrase Breaking Bad, right? I think it's not that well known, actually, or that often used in all areas of America, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah. To break bad. at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what other people think of you. It only matters what you, close friends and family think of you. That is very true, Mr. Lincoln Jason. And I know that like my family is very appreciative and very supportive of what I'm doing, and and people, my friends, they all know what I'm doing, and they're all very supportive. I really can't complain, and I would say like I'm self-confident enough that it really doesn't it wouldn't get to me anyway in that sense. Bérangère, thank you very much for the tip. It's much appreciated, of course. I can only repeat myself, but I mean it every single time. So thank you very much. Anyway, yeah, that is not the problem though. Like I would say I'm a pretty self-aware and self-confident person. I can speak my mind, and I sometimes it would be better for me to not do that in certain other situations, not related to YouTube at all. I know that, but I won't hesitate to speak my mind, to share my opinion and to raise my voice sometimes. Anyway, but yeah, it's just the reach thing, the algorithm thing. And I guess, don't worry about me in that sense, because I'm a happy person. I'm a very optimistic person. I'm a lucky person in the sense of having all of this, the equipment, because of you guys, basically. You also helped me making all this possible, buying those lights, buying the camera, the PC, and everything, living the life that I'm living, But on the other hand, though, I know, I guess I can relate to some other fellow creators that feel that at some point in their career feel lost, like they don't know what to do anymore. They don't grow as much as they used to, even though, they haven't really changed anything. Maybe that is sometimes also like the problem, that you don't change. But then again, you can't know for sure every single time, because to some degree, and it has always been like that, and I guess it will always remain like that. And I don't know if all viewers of YouTubers, for instance, are aware of that. But to us creators, taking YouTube as an example, but it's similar at, for Twitch, I guess, or many other platforms. Even though we know a few things about the algorithms and how they work and what they prefer over other things, what is more important than other statistics and data and everything, that is only a fraction that we know. And there is no, this is how the YouTube algorithm works, step 1 to step 10. You just have to follow those steps and you'll be, the most successful YouTuber ever. We don't know that because they don't share that. And I do get why they don't, because it's sort of part of their formula, like their, in German you would call it das Geschäftsgeheimnis, the like company secrets, maybe, in that sense. So I do get why they don't share that in a way, because then it would be very exploitable even, the algorithm, or algorithms, because it's multiple actually, interlinked with each other. But that's also a thing, it's, to some degree, it's a black box for YouTubers and creators. You can only make educated guesses, and sometimes or like some YouTube employee or some YouTube person said in certain interview ABC that, oh, this is what we're focusing on at the moment. It's like the watch rate, for instance, watch time right now. Like 4 years ago, it may have been the amount of subscribers. and it keeps changing constantly, and that makes it all the more interesting, but all the more, yeah, unpredictable, you know. Okay, closing in, guys, so gotta catch up with you, and then I'm gonna call it a day for today. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what other people think. You can control how people perceive you. Just be the best that you can. That is also a very, very good advice, Brad. And I really, really, not just in terms of me and YouTube, but just in general, I think that is a very, very good thing. Just go your own way, to say it with Fleetwood Mac, you know, in a way. Be yourself, stay true to yourself, and believe in you. Even if people may try to, you know, persuade you to do other things. So, to me, YouTube will always be that band that forced an album into our iTunes libraries as a cheap plug. Yes, even though, you know, I wasn't really affected by that, because I'm not I never had an iPod, and I was never a big fan of Apple, to be honest, but that's a whole different topic. Nothing against them per se, but I just didn't really use their products yet. Like, I didn't have an iPhone yet up until now, so I'm, yeah. Not really like a connection to Apple as a brand, personally. But I heard of that, yeah. But they also regret that now, I think. They wouldn't do that again, I don't think. You're in it for love of it, and it shows. It's a huge investment of time and energy. Yes, it is, actually. I, for one, am happy that you set up ways for us to give you something back. Thank you very much for saying that, Kevin. That is really, really kind. And that is exactly the way I feel about it, yeah. It is a huge investment of time and energy, and once again, I'm not saying that for, you know, fishing for compliments or something like that. It's just what it is, you know. It's writing a script, filming the video, then editing the video, uploading the video, doing all the description stuff, creating a thumbnail, sharing the video. So there are multiple steps involved, and all of those steps take time, you know. And I love doing all of that, though, you know, don't get me wrong. So yeah. Back in the late 90s, a friend of mine played a few Rammstein songs on the school bus, and I've been very interested in German music, language, and culture ever since. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, that is also the first time that I heard of Rammstein, even though I wasn't really aware of them as a band yet. Like with Du Hast and Engel, especially, which was played on mainstream German radio stations back in the day, even. Especially Engel. I understand most of my friends don't get why I would watch videos on and about the German language. Yeah. And that also fits with what Derek then replies or wrote. Your channel is very niche, but for me it's perfection, and that is also a great compliment, so thank you. I restarted learning German because of German music. Your channel has been such an amazing find, yeah. That is also one of the things. At first, I didn't really have like a clear focus on the channel. That's a whole different topic that I could talk about endlessly, but I'm not going to do that, don't worry. And I've tackled that in quite a few previous live streams. The struggle between finding certain like 2 or 3 video series, like types of videos that I'm focusing on the channel, versus me not wanting to do only 2 things and become bored by it maybe at some point, you know. And I know that people, you know, there are certain channels that only do Minecraft, for instance, you know, and that's what they do. They don't do anything else, which is fine, totally fine. But I don't feel like that. Like, you could argue that I'm only doing like German related videos on that meta level, yes, but on the surface, you know, or beneath the surface, I should say, learning German with music, learning German with movies, learning German with series, learning German with sayings, driving in Germany videos, Rammstein related videos. Like there's like a multitude of things that I'm doing, and I love all of them. And maybe that also loses me a certain continuity for new viewers that maybe find my channel and they find Rammstein videos that they enjoy, and then they take a look at my channel and they see, oh well, but he doesn't only do Rammstein videos, so I'm not subscribing to them. Like I'm not gonna watch their other upcoming videos. No, because I'm only interested in Rammstein videos, which once again is fine. Maybe that is also one of the inherent problems of my channel. I don't know. But I just can't help but I don't want to make only Rammstein related videos at the end of the day. That's not how I roll. Like And I know for a fact that if I only made that, I thought about it. Because frankly speaking, it's the most viewed videos on my channel by far. Anything Rammstein related. I know I will get at least like a 4-digit amount of views. Like for instance 2,000 views on a video. And you know, I could say, technically I could say, yeah, okay, well, that's the most successful type of video on my channel, then I'm only gonna do Rammstein videos from now on. And I guess there are many people, maybe, that would be very happy about that. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to just make one type of video and for the rest of this channel. Knowing though that if I did that, the channel may be more successful in terms of subscribers even. Because people know what they get all the time. And with my channel, I think they sort of know that, but not to 100%. And yeah, but that's once again a whole different topic I could talk about all day long. But yeah. Anyway, let's catch up on the more recent comments, and then I'm gonna wrap it up for today. Most of my friends don't get why I would watch videos on him. Yes, but we're so grateful that you are here making these specific videos that are exactly what we wish for. Thank you very much. It's only right that we give something back when we can. Yeah, but once again, don't feel obliged to, like, or forced, or whatever the term would be, you know, the sufficient term is, because that's not the point. You know, if you want to do it and if you can do it, it's very welcome, especially regarding this, of course. And maybe I will set up a GoFundMe at some point. We'll see. And the thing is, though, sounds strange, but it's even more than this, like the amount that that I really have to pay back. This is not the complete amount. Like right now, it's like, I think, what is it, 17K? Like I had to take a second credit in order to really get to the point of. It's hard to explain, but if you pay back, in terms of the student debt, you know, repay, if you pay the whole sum back, you get a discount of, I think it was like 3K that you don't have to pay back. And that is basically the story behind that. Maybe it's similar in the US, I don't know. And I did that in order to get that discount because there's money, you know, that you can save. Yeah, but, and then that was the first credit, and then I also take a credit. I took a credit, like a raise basically in the credit for this flat, not the flat as a whole, but for the furniture in it, because I'm renting this flat, and I bought off all the furniture from here, from the previous tenant, because she emigrated to the US. Very, very kind person, Kerstin, and I took a look at this apartment last year, and I fell in love with it. And I came from my old flat was mainly based on very old furniture, which I took over from the previous tenant of that flat, which was an elder lady, and I wanted to do something good to her, and to take certain things and to buy off from her. For instance, the old kitchen that I had in that old flat, with like a washing machine which was like 30 years old at least, and that was fine. Don't want to sound like complaining about that, not in the slightest, but this flat was a whole another level for me personally, in terms of my own flat. So yeah, long story short, ba 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 ba. Feeling helpless is part of the human experience. That is also very true, Brad. Yes. I'm more to yourself and others. Thank you very much for saying that, Carl. Also, came here just anything with my hands and tools, but YouTube content is a bit beyond me. That I'm the complete opposite, Brad. Like I have, in German we say du hast zwei linke Hände, or ich habe zwei linke Hände. I have two left hands. I'm not a skilled handyman, for instance. I'm not skilled at that stuff. I'm more versed into when it comes to linguistics, I guess, and making videos. Even though all of this, what I'm doing here, is self-taught at the end of the day. So yeah, it's whoops. I think you're doing great, but I don't see your behind the scenes and what you see as a creator. I enjoy your honesty. Thank you. Yes, I just felt like, I didn't plan to talk about that today, but it sort of fits, I guess, with the theme of the stream and the channel in general, and you guys, of course, Bariotic is around. Hi, thanks for tuning in. I'm really sorry I'm late, and Pickled Tink, Aussie here. Hi, thanks for tuning in and everything, and watching my videos. Much appreciated. As long as those thoughts are out of your head and the weight off your shoulders, I'm fine with monologues and rants. Thank you very much. Yeah, because sometimes, frankly speaking, I can't really. I mean, I sometimes I talk about certain things with my family, like with my brother, for instance, who also watches, live streams and YouTube videos and everything, and he's also sort of interested in that. He doesn't really do that himself, but he views those things. He's a watcher of music YouTube videos and streams and everything, and the like. So he knows a little bit about that, but he doesn't really know the background to video production, because how could he? So it's sometimes it's I can talk about those things with Vuko, for instance, because he can relate to what I'm saying, because he is in the same position, a fellow creator, and yeah. But I guess it's the same with other fields of work, that there are certain things that you can only talk about with workmates, for instance, co-workers, people that work in the same environment. That's the way it is, I guess. Aussie here, tipping is so weird to me. It's not common in day-to-day. However, do not view supporting online content as tipping. Just support and happy to do so. Yeah, maybe it's exactly that, Pickelting. It's about how you perceive that whole thing, that whole notion. Yeah. Like, for instance, in German restaurants, tipping is pretty much common, and I also tip waiters, waitresses. I even tip people, we have like a service that delivers food to you, which you otherwise would buy at a supermarket, but they deliver it to you. And every single time, if I have the money, like €1-2 or whatever, I'm gonna tip them. It's just what I feel, what feels right to me. Or when someone delivers food to me, like fast food or something like that that I'm ordering, I tip the delivery guy. You know, that's just what I do. And don't worry, Bérangère, I'm gonna call it a day as well. Just really catch on. And thank you very much for being here. And Benjamin Lennon, hi! Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for your, well wishes. Much appreciated, Benjamin. And very nice to see you back. Maybe all tips are investments also, yeah. They are, actually. Streamlabs seems to be better than Super Chat since YouTube takes around 30% of the money and Streamlabs only takes around 5%. Yeah. Maybe I should actually change that as well. Even though, you know, it's easier for people to do that in terms of a YouTube stream when it's like a Super Chat, because it's more like immediate, if that makes sense, like more direct in a technical way. But yeah, maybe I should actually change that. Yeah. As a Californian, I have never heard of any of those here. There's another famous song from the 2010s called Geronimo, and the main chorus basically is "Say Geronimo," and apparently it's from the Midwest. Also, when I first heard REM back in middle school, I thought they were from the UK. Wow. I don't know, they sounded British without trying, but they're from Georgia, Southeast USA. Yeah, I only know that the first few REM albums, Michael Stipe really sings very quietly and almost whispery, you know, inaudible at certain parts. But I also like that, you know. Great early REM songs as well. Can we make a short assessment of the latest development of your channel, the German live stream? Well, maybe. Yeah, I hope I can make the next German stream. Glad I could make this one. I just got Mondays off. Wow. So this worked out perfect. That's awesome. German Let's Plays. Dave, I appreciate you being yourself and wish you continued success with all your platforms. Jake Ree, thank you very much for saying that. That is really, really, really very kind. And I do appreciate that. So that is motivational, you know, that stuff. So thank you. I enjoy watching your videos because of the variety, Sarah says. And that is also something that I appreciate, because I try to, you know, deliver that. Something for everyone. Like some people that are more into music may watch those types of videos, and people that are more into video games, for instance, may watch those types of videos. So I'm trying to, in a way, I'm trying something that I can't succeed in 100%, like pleasing everyone, I guess. Maybe that is, once again, maybe that is part of what keeps me from growing faster as a channel. Not that that is something that I'm mainly interested in, but as a creator, of course, I'm looking for ways to grow the channel, you know. As I've said before, and maybe that's a good last statement for this stream, there's one single YouTube career goal that I have, which is reaching 100,000 subscribers and getting this silver play button on my wall. You know, that is like the epitome, like the ultimate goal that I have. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe at some point I make it, but it's really, really hard with niche content. Okay. That's one of the many upsides of Sweden. They don't force you to part with your money for something that should be a basic human right, the right to an education. That is also really cool, yeah. That certain countries also, you know, handle things differently when it comes to college education fees and student fees, you know. I mean, I don't want to complain, you know, in Germany compared to the USA, I think Germany is still like quite cheap, like, but it's still quite a lot of money. You know, university education costs quite a lot of money. There are some people that are lucky in the sense that they have like rich parents that pay for that, but there are other people that don't have that option and that really have to rely on the German state in order to give them money in advance, but they have to pay back a certain part of that, which was my case. And that is the reason why, you know, I took the credit and I have to pay it back now. So, but without the German language studies, which I did, I wouldn't have started this channel. So it's both interlinked in a way. So yeah, one thing leads to another. Life, that is life, I guess. And it's interesting like that. I guess I'll have to watch the rest of the live stream tomorrow. It's getting late. Yeah, once again, thanks very much, Bérangère. Have a good one, everyone. Keep up the good work, Dave. Thank you very much, Brad. I will. Wish you made more in-depth reactions or breakdowns of other famous German songs artists besides Rammstein. For example, Kraftklub Fenster. Yes, I could definitely see myself doing that for other German artists, but then again, it has to be... It sounds wrong to say it like that, and I don't mean it like in terms of downgrading certain German artists, not at all. But it had to be, I guess, in some way at least, an artist that is already quite established and that is also quite well known outside of Germany, because otherwise the vast majority, I guess, of my audience, of my community, won't watch those videos if they don't know the artist. That is simply the way it is, I guess. I mean, there are always people that are curious to find out new music, new German artists that they don't know about. But the Subway to Sally album listening party that I did is a good example, I guess, because not many people may be aware of Subway to Sally yet. And not many people watched that album listening party. So, compared to other videos, that is. Not complaining in a way, but just saying, you know, there is a quality difference in terms of how people tend toward or do not tend toward videos sometimes. That is always something that I also think about when I'm doing stuff. So but I know what you mean, Maria. So yeah, we'll see. Do you mean do you remember when the wind was blowing hard in Germany? Yes, I mean it does every now and then, also these days. So yeah. Also, I live quite high up in the building, like, and up here on my level, like, you really feel the wind, like, way more than you would when you lived, like, on the first floor, for instance. I'm with Jikri on that one. Keep up the amazing work you do for our entertainment and education with your German live streams and translation videos. Can't wait to see you at 100k subs. Thank you very much, Mr. Lincoln Jason. Maybe at some point I will reach that. I don't know. But I hope. Never lose hope, everyone. No matter what it is about. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching. Once again, sorry for the long rant and monologue. I didn't plan on doing that, but it just felt fitting, as I've said before, and I want to let you guys know about the state of the channel and, you know, how I, behind the scenes, basically, am pursuing things and thinking about things here and there, which may also explain a few choices of the, you know, channel every now and then. So, I don't know. But anyway, it was much fun talking to you guys again. Much appreciated. Looking forward to the next stream already, which I hope I will have this month as well. Maybe another German stream as well, because that was much fun. I'm gonna let you guys know. Stay tuned for all those nice things. And yeah, have a nice day, everyone. nice morning, noon, afternoon, evening, or night, or whatever it is around the globe. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the support in those past 8 years. Yeah. Thank you. And goodbye. Tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal.